feel like flying with aeroplane. Viva Mandela Viva! Viva!
February 1990. The South African government was forced to release Nelson Mandela after he spent 27 years in jail. Mandela was released because millions of people protested against the system of racial oppression known as apartheid.
Recognize that apartheid has no future.
How did a country of such physical beauty become known around the world for its racial oppression? South Africa was settled more than 300 years ago by Dutch and English settlers. Black Africans arrived from other parts of Africa due to tribal wars and the need for cheap labor. The Dutch descendants, known as Afrikaners, fought wars against the British for the right to live in South Africa. Their roots run deep.
We've made it our country. We haven't bought it from the Indians. We've paid for it in blood.
Black South Africans share these roots, but it is the only thing they share. In 1948, the new government developed a policy of apartheid, a word that in the Afrikaans language means segregation of the races. It was the apartheid laws that enabled the government to keep black workers available for cheap labor while retaining white control. Blacks couldn't own property. They had no say in where they lived or where their children went to school.
In my own country, I do not vote. According to this government, I am not a South African.
The African National Congress, or ANC, was formed in response to white domination. In the 1950s, Nelson Mandela became one of its leaders. In 1960, the ANC was banned and its leaders sentenced to life in jail when they declared that only armed struggle could abolish apartheid. In 1976, in Soweto, the biggest revolt against apartheid in the history of South Africa took place. 575 blacks were killed. The government increased police repression. South Africa was kicked out of the United Nations and banned from international sports. A boycott against South African businesses hurt the economy. In response to the pressure, President de Klerk began dismantling apartheid. Mandela was released. And in 1994, South Africa held democratic elections. For the first time ever, blacks were allowed to determine the laws under which they would live. The African National Congress won the election, and Nelson Mandela became the new president of South Africa.
Viva New South Africa.
It's been a long wait and it's great.
This is freedom for us. This is liberation. This is independence.